According to the latest Fox News poll, Kamala Harris has a slight lead in overall voters, first time since Fox News has been polling with Kamala Harris's name at the top of the ticket since Joe Biden was pushed out by the Democrat Party. First time that she has had a lead in the overall national polling, according to Fox News. We have those details for you. Also, Hillary Clinton says that Kamala Harris does not have to explain her policy issues. In fact, Hillary suggests that it's sexist and racist if you and I even ask the questions. Now, how much sense does that make, that it's racist for a reporter, for a U.S. citizen to ask Kamala Harris her position on a policy? Is that just not insane? It makes me wonder if maybe Hillary Clinton is trying to secretly sabotage the Harris campaign. We'll dive into that as well. And also, a U.S. official yesterday verified that Israel is, in fact, responsible for the exploding pagers and, again, yesterday, the exploding walkie-talkies with the terrorist group Hezbollah. This whole thing just intrigues me of how Israel has been able to pull this off. This was not done overnight. This had to have been in the makings for months, because Israel would have had to have intercepted shipments of pagers and of radio walkie-talkies in order to implant these explosive devices in them. It's quite intriguing. We'll talk about that too. And in an unusual move, the Teamsters Union will not be endorsing a presidential candidate. Now, since 1992, they have endorsed the Democrat candidate for president. In fact, you can go further back than that. In 1988, they kind of broke their annual or their endorsement of Democrats and endorsed a Republican, President Bush. But this year, they're not going to endorse a candidate, even though almost 60% of Teamster Union members say that they support President Donald Trump. It appears that they're just embarrassed to endorse Kamala Harris, but yet they don't want to endorse Donald Trump. It's interesting how they roll this out, because in the announcement that they would not be making an endorsement, they also included the results of their internal polling that showed this 59.3% support of Donald Trump. Was that not their way of actually endorsing Donald Trump without formally endorsing him? We'll dive into that as well. President Trump was in Nassau, Long Island last night at the Nassau County Coliseum, where 60,000 plus tickets were requested. It's my understanding the arena holds 16,000. You could see of the images and the video that was released, thousands and thousands of people outside of the arena watching on video monitors as well. The president, of course, talked about this second attempt of assassination this past weekend in Palm Beach. He talked about how he will be known as the border president. In cut number one, he's talking to this very enthusiastic, very patriotic, kind of rowdy group in Long Island, in a blue state, in an area where he's not supposed to have any support. Cut number one.
These encounters with death have not broken my will. They have really given me a much bigger and stronger mission. They've only hardened my resolve to use my time on earth to make America great again, for all Americans, to put America first. Going to put America first.
That's President Trump saying that, of course, he'll put America first, and he will. We've seen him do it before. He also says that he plans to visit Springfield, Ohio in cut number two. He talks about going to see this area and to talk with the people of Springfield, Ohio, so that he can know firsthand what exactly is happening there.
I'm going to Springfield and I'm going to Aurora. You may never see me again, but that's okay. Got to do what I got to do. Whatever happened to Trump? Well, he never got out of Springfield. I'm leading in Ohio by like 15 points, a lot. And we're going to take care of Ohio, and we're going to take care of Colorado, and we're going to take care of every single state in the union. They're all under siege. A lot of people don't talk about.
Now, again, this is in New York. This is a state that Donald Trump should not win, although he says he thinks he will. This is, of course, used to be his home state until he moved to Florida. This is an area that is traditionally blue for the Democrats. He told New Yorkers in cut number 3, he basically asked the question, what do you have to lose?
And so I say to the people of New York, with crime at record levels, with terrorists and criminals pouring in, and with inflation eating your hearts out, vote for Donald Trump. What the hell do you have to lose? What do you have to lose?
For the first time, Kamala Harris has 50% in the Fox News presidential poll. We have the details. We're going to break those numbers down for you coming up here on the Mike Gallagher Show. I'm Joey Hudson, in for Mike. 1-800-655-MIKE, 1-800-655-6453. Hope you'll join the conversation. You can also text me your comments on the MyPillow text line, 1-800-655-6453. Back to this story with the Teamsters, and I think this is very important. The Teamsters is I guess probably the largest union, if not one of the, certainly in the top 5. I'm sure Kamala Harris thought that she would get their endorsement because she's received the endorsement of just about every other union. And the Teamsters yesterday, Teamsters General President Sean O'Brien was on Your World with Neil Cavuto yesterday in cut number 6, and he explains why they decided not to endorse Kamala Harris. Again, they've endorsed every single Democrat presidential nominee since 1992. Here's the Teamsters president.
Why not Donald Trump?
How are you, sir? Well, listen, we interviewed both candidates, and we were seeking commitments from both candidates, and we couldn't get solid commitments on our core issues like the PRO Act, like veto and national right to work, like staying out of labor disputes and not trying to force any contracts on us, like what happened to our brothers and sisters in the rail industry. We didn't get solid commitments from either candidate, which was a major factor in our decision as a General Executive Board not to endorse any candidate. However, we did a lot of polling, as you know, and the polling leaned heavily towards former President Trump. So that tells you that
very heavily, Sean. And I'm just wondering, do you look disconnected from your members?
No, we're definitely not disconnected from our members because, look, we did extensive polling that was important. Our goal as leaders, as union leaders, as leader of the Teamsters, is to provide the ability for people to have a voice and to provide credible information. And we cannot dictate to our members. Our members are sophisticated. They're going to make their own decisions. But this is a bigger problem. You know, the Democrats have always taken for granted that they're going to get our vote no matter what. And the Republicans fancy themselves as the working people's party. I think right now both sides have to take a step back and really reevaluate what their commitment is to working people. And that's what we did in this process.
Well, and look, I think this is a message to the Democrat Party. Again, you find it unusual that they decided not to endorse Kamala Harris, the Democrat nominee, but yet they released their internal polling that shows Donald Trump got 59.6% of the Teamster members' support. Is that unusual to you?